All right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Face. We're going to take about 30 minutes on the stream. I usually do much longer streams on these Q&As and keeping an eye on your live chat, mostly covering geopolitics stuff. And this one's going to be shorter because I have actually a massage therapist coming over at top of the hour. I'm really into massages, at least once a month. Well, in Panama more often because it's cheaper. In US, once a month because they're expensive. In a place like Thailand where they're like 15, 20 bucks, and then it's like 3 times a day. Not a day, sorry, 3 times a week. 3 times a day would be probably a different type of massage for some people. But yeah, I really am into like sports therapy, deep tissue massages. It's really, really healthy too. Also on my Instagram, posted a proper sauna routine. Another thing I do at least once a month, ideally, usually once a week. Again, depends where I am. In Panama, I probably do sauna twice a week, at least once a week, sometimes twice. When I happen to be in New York, it's more like twice a month. They're expensive. In Miami, there was one, and now there isn't. So whenever I'm in Miami, it's really frustrating because absolutely zero sauna culture in Miami. So it kind of sucks. The best saunas were like in Ukraine and Uzbekistan, and I haven't been to any in Russia because I haven't gone to Russia much, but uh, I have not. I've been to Bocas del Toro once, but I didn't spend the night there. I was just there to look at an island. Not that I can afford an island, but I was there with a couple of friends that bought a small island for like a few $1 million, and I was there checking it out. It was totally like an empty island, little tiny island. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up the stream so that I know that everything's working. Yeah, so it really depends on the location for that kind of stuff. There we go. Get that out the way. All right, let's go to the charts. I'll do a quick overview on Bitcoin. There's really nothing to say on Bitcoin. And then from there, far infrared sauna is the best. So I only do infrared when I have to. Infrared sauna is not my ideal sauna. Like the dry heat banya is my ideal sauna. The schwitz is a little bit different. Oh, wrong way. The schwitz is okay. Schwitz, you can have water in the sauna and a proper, like Russian or Finnish banya. There's no water inside the sauna other than throwing it on the hot rocks. Yeah, I'm sure Finland has very good sauna. And so does Sweden. I haven't been though. I haven't been to Finland or Sweden. And I think it's some of, I don't know if I'll ever make it to Finland or Sweden. There are countries that I don't really want to support economically. I do have friends in both Finland and Sweden, more so in Sweden. Sweden is a little too socialist for my taste, but I'll go eventually, I'm sure. If they still exist, I don't know. If they keep poking the Russian bear, there may not be a Finland. So they need to wise up. They need to get smarter, and people in Finland need to elect leaders of their country that aren't interested that have no interest in slaughtering themselves for some American and World Economic Forum's agenda. So Finland is on a very destructive path for itself. We'll see. a girls' hip hop world. Aren't we truth maxis? So why Bitcoin maxis abide by preferred pronouns? And would you? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Our preferred pronouns like he, him, she, her, it, them, they. Like I have no idea, guys. I'm I'm a two-gender guy. Like, if you want to change your gender, go change your gender. I don't care. It's your problem. But it's your preference. But making it my problem is what pisses me off. Like if you're transgender and I call you by the wrong gender, like I have no idea what to call people like when they're transgender. Like, so I'm gonna mess it up. And if you have a problem with it, go scream in a corner somewhere. Like I really don't give a fuck. I'll do my best to be respectful and not mess it up. But if I mess it up, I mean, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm not gonna feel bad about it either. Like, wear a sign. Well, wear a sign on your head how to call you, and then it solves all of my problems, or it solves all of your problems. Actually, I don't have any problems. If you don't want to be misgendered, wear a name tag with your gender, not with your name. That's not useful. If you're afraid of being misgendered, wear a fucking sign on your body at all times on what to call you. Otherwise, again, go complain in a corner somewhere. I do my best when I know the uh, what to call it. And each person is different. I'm not against people, adults. Let me be specific. I'm not against adults altering their gender if it makes them feel better. Like I'm a freedom maximalist. Please go for it. All right. Nothing's changed, actually. I don't even know why I'm talking about charts. We are on an MRI warning candle. And I am expecting an MRI top next candle. But if it's happening in consolidation, then I'm expecting continued consolidation and then a pop to the upside. Someone raised the topic. Why do I pay attention to the MRI on a weekly chart? Because it's not very useful. Someone made that comment. To me, it's very useful. So the last time we had an MRI top, we certainly corrected for a 1 to 4 candle correction. The time before that was also very useful to me. It allowed me to, but I don't remember if I took profit here or not. I really don't remember. But we had a major run up. And therefore, on this MRI candle, I expected it to slow down and either correct or consolidate. And we ended up consolidating. And the green star candle gives me confidence that we're going to go back in and create another MRI top. So even though it didn't reverse the price, it certainly allowed me to analyze the market on what to do as of this moment. The prior MRI was a beautiful buying opportunity, marking the lowest price of Bitcoin within the last 12 months. So right here was the lowest price. The last time price was this low was in March of last year, and we're almost in April. So you can't say that the MRI wasn't useful. It literally marked the lowest price in the last 12 months, smack in the middle of the last 12 months. So that MRI was certainly useful. This one right here, again, I expected more consolidation, but it did reverse the price. So going long on this MRI candle certainly would have created a bullish trade for a little while. I'm not even going to cherry pick the low. Let's go with the close of the candle. And still went up 10%. I mean, it wasn't a big move, but from 19,000 to 21,000. And then if it wasn't for FTX, we probably would have kept going higher. The prior MRI buy opportunity certainly did not work out. Neither did the one before. But the one before, remember, on an MRI buy, this is where I take my profit. And then I look for a buying opportunity, but that buying opportunity didn't come. At least not with the next candle. And then I never followed the trade on the next candle. So this one wasn't great. This one worked out during the candle, but after that, not so great. But again, on the upside, these MRI tops allow me to take profit and then reevaluate and then go long on green star candles if the trend continues. Same thing. So back in November 2020 and in January of 2021. The one before that, on June 2020, so marked the top for like 3 months. So again, I find it very useful. Okay. Allocation chart, nothing has changed, 100% bullish. Daily chart. Daily chart's consolidating. I'm bullish here. MRI top's coming, but if the MRI top comes in consolidation, I will remain bullish with the MRI top. Short-term chart, nothing is really going on. But I do like the bullish nature of this consolidation. I updated some spreadsheets, guys. So these numbers are not final, but they're close to final. What happened last week, the shortened week with Good Friday? We had a $12,000 net bullish inflow into Bitcoin ETFs. That is very, very good. Okay, that's good. It made up for last week's drop. Because GBTC sold way too much. This time, GBTC sold half the Bitcoin they sold before, and the other ETFs picked up nice $26,000 accumulation of Bitcoin. So that's great. If we look at the volume, if we look at average trading volume, you can see that Valkyrie's trading volume is actually higher than VanEck, which is very impressive. I want to order this by volume, but I do have it ordered by the amount of Bitcoin. So I'm really hoping that this extra trading volume by Valkyrie would bring it up to have more Bitcoin than VanEck. People continue to ask me, how come these ETFs are at different prices? And is there an advantage there? No, there isn't. They're at different prices because they decided to have different number of shares. In fact, I believe that the reason why Valkyrie has a higher average volume than VanEck is because, look, VanEck is the most expensive of the ETFs. Valkyrie is the cheapest of the ETFs. Valkyrie is a brand new company. VanEck is an established Bitcoin ETF, not Bitcoin ETF, sorry. VanEck is an ETF expert. And it actually, the only reason why Valkyrie would have a higher average trading volume is because people find their own value in trading a cheaper stock. Okay, it's bias. It's partially bias. Okay, in reality, there's not much difference between an $80 stock and a $20 stock. But here's where the difference is. Most people buy stocks in lots of 100. Most exchanges, most brokers charge you fees in certain lot sizes. So it's cheaper to buy like $100 lots or $1,000 lots of stock. And a $100 lot of VanEck is $8,000. A $100 lot of Valkyrie is $2,000. So there's complete unit bias. And Valkyrie did a very smart thing by having the lowest priced ETF on the market because they needed some kind of a competitive advantage. Okay. Now, Grayscale and Fidelity, I think Fidelity, Grayscale and Fidelity went out of their way to create the price of, sorry, not Fidelity, sorry. Grayscale had that, is degraded. The price right now is 70. ARK shares, sorry, it's ARK. ARK went out of their way, and so did Invesco, I believe, to create a price that is a 1,000 multiple of the price of Bitcoin. They did this on purpose. Grayscale also used to be a 1,000 multiple of Bitcoin. The reason why Grayscale today is not a 1,000 multiple of Bitcoin is because of the 2% management fee. So the price of Grayscale's ETF drops on average 2% per year. So in the and it's 2% on top of 2%. So in the last 4 years, Grayscale has deviated from the price of Bitcoin by approximately 9%. And that's because of the management fee. Like over time, even though when ARK Invest launched, the price of ARK Invest's ETF, was it ARK or Galaxy, or probably both? The price of ARK Invest was identical to the price of Bitcoin times with 1,000 multiple. But they charge a 0.21% management fee. So after 5 years, you will see a 1% difference between this price and the price of Bitcoin times 1,000, unless they decide to do a stock split or an ETF split, okay? There is absolutely no advantage, strategical advantage, in the price difference between the two, between all 10 of these ETFs. However, most people would rather hold, 1,000 shares of $20 Valkyrie than 200 shares of VanEck Bitcoin ETF. Now, if the asset is too cheap, if the asset is like $1 or $2, it creates the opposite problem. No one really wants to hold 1 million shares of an asset. This is why penny stocks trade in tens of millions of shares, and it's a fucking nightmare. I hate it, okay? And on the flip side, I can't afford to hold a share of Berkshire Hathaway. I don't want to hold 1 share in my portfolio of an asset, right? And this is why stocks split. So if Valkyrie continues, if people continue to favor a cheaper stock, Valkyrie will go ahead of VanEck, even though if these were at the same price, I almost guarantee you VanEck would have a higher volume and more people would be buying VanEck over Valkyrie if it was exactly the same price. Okay. And the more volume an asset has, the more liquid it is, the less slippage it has between the bid-ask spread. So there are two things involved here. It's the traded volume and traded value. I call it traded value. I have no idea what the conventional number is, right? So traded volume is the amount of shares an asset trades. Traded value is the amount of asset it trades times the price of that asset. So you can see that even though Valkyrie has a higher trading volume, VanEck still has a higher traded value. So when you multiply the volume times the price, that means that more money is slushing around VanEck than the money slushing around Valkyrie. Okay, and therefore VanEck continues to hold more Bitcoin, and the VanEck ETF has a higher market cap. The market cap of the ETF is identical to the market cap of the Bitcoin they're holding. These numbers have to add up. I used to have two different columns, but it was literally almost the same number. My shares numbers have not been updated, so you see a bit of a discrepancy here, but you can see in Invesco, it's 100%. That's what it generally is. It's approximately 100%. Okay, not much to say on energy, except look at the oil market. The oil market has broken out of the box that I had, but this is the box of US government purchasing oil for the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. I updated the numbers. Here it is. Last week, the government continued buying oil. So you see the price of oil rising. The government has been buying oil. They're continuing to buy oil at this $80 price mark. So the government is now starting to buy oil at a significantly higher price than where they sold the oil. So you can see right here in this red box, the government's selling oil. And in the green box, they're buying oil. So they sell low and buy high because the government doesn't know what they're doing, okay? The Biden administration is now buying oil at a higher price. This box here is April 23 until July 23. If we look at the data and we go to April of 23, you will see that the government was selling oil. We can also, do other analysis. I can also put other boxes, but I'm just, going with the last 2 years, 23 and 24. So right here, you see the government sold oil here, and they're all throughout this box, and now they're buying oil in these boxes. So they're, sell low, buy high. I mean, how else are you going to manage the economy other than you sell dirt cheap and you buy it back more expensive? Because they're not using their own money. They are using your money in the form of tax revenue. Yes, back here, they were selling it at a higher price, but then they took a break from selling and resumed selling at a lower price. I see Gary Gerritsen has deleted some messages. Yeah, just time him out. Don't ban him. Don't ban ignore me. Maybe time him out or hit delete for the day. We'll see. Dr. Shamoyu. Thank you for your comment. Yes, I have been saving people from shitcoinery for a long time. SBF's 25-year sentence, whereby Ross Ulbricht got 240 years. I really hate going down the Ross Ulbricht rabbit hole, to be honest with you guys. So I don't believe SBF is going to do 25 years. I actually think 25 years for Sam Bankman-Fried is a little harsh. I don't think he's going to do 25 years. Oh, wow. Okay, my oh, I only have 10 minutes left. Ross Ulbricht, I hate to say this, had perhaps the shittiest lawyer in the history of legal teams, which is very unfortunate. I think that a good lawyer for Ross Ulbricht would have done a significantly better job. I attended the parole hearing of Ross Ulbricht in person, and I listened to his lawyer in person, and I cringed my teeth, and I really wanted to, jump out of my seat, you know, tackle the lawyer like they do in American football and argue instead of him on Ross Ulbricht's behalf. I mean, of course, I would have been arrested and thrown in jail alongside Ross Ulbricht had I done that. But me, as never taking a legal course in university or law school, I feel I would have done a better job. Maybe because I've run a law show for a while, so I have an idea. But it was super unfortunate. Oh, wow. Guys, we didn't get to any geopolitics. And my professional massage therapist is here. And I specifically say professional in case people have any ideas. Hold on. Hola. Hola, Rosando.
Okay, coming up.
Gracias. Okay. So we're gonna have to go through this quickly. I also updated yeah. Also for the record, as a free market like libertarian person, I don't have a problem with massage places that do extracurricular activities. I don't have a moral problem with those businesses. Also, to be clear. So I updated all the numbers of 2023 fiscal year spending. So those that have access to the spreadsheet, and I've tweeted it out a few times. I have the latest numbers. We're gonna dive into those numbers next time. 1 second. Oh, 5 minutos por favor. Was I on mute or no? Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Okay. So real quick, I'm just going to leave you with one thing. I'm not going to talk about Ukraine, Russia today, or... Oh, by the way, how many ads do you guys get? So I can't stop them. I started researching, how to create YouTube videos with 0 ads. I don't make money from this. I stopped monetizing my channel. And someone said there was like 15 ads on my YouTube streams. So I'm trying to research how to create ad-free content on YouTube. And like I found like a 43-minute video that I need to watch. And if someone has a good resource, I mean, I'll figure it out, but YouTube has made it very complicated to create videos with no ads. Almost impossible. I'm going to try to find a way. They shadow ban me anyway, so it's not like I need their promotion. And the last thing I want to do is I found that video that I told you guys about. I think this is on 2x. And I'm just going to run it real quick. It's only about 4-minute interview, so on 2x it'll be 2 minutes. So if you're watching me on 2x, you're gonna listen to it in 4x. So I suggest you slow down the video now from 2x down to normal because you're gonna listen to it in 2x. This was the 4-minute interview I was telling you guys about, and I'll just let you have a listen, and I'll leave you with that.
So when you decided in your first journalistic adventure was to go and move to a refugee camp in the West Bank, why did you choose that particular place? Did you know anybody there? What was the thinking?
This was before the conflict.
Yeah, Aida refugee camp is kind of a special place in the sense that it's one that's relatively easy to access for foreigners. You can go there, you can meet people. They're very warm. There's often a kind of a sort of a not always rotating, but there are often a few foreigners who come there, Palestine solidarity activists, journalists, young journalists who are really trying to get their feet wet, and you can go live there and you just get this experience of the occupation in a very up close and personal way on a daily basis. I mean, it's right up next to an Israeli military base at Rachel's Tomb, at this holy site Rachel's Tomb, which is surrounded by an Israeli military base, and on a daily basis, the gate from the refugee camp opens. Soldiers will just come out and shoot tear gas, shoot people, they kill kids, they'll shoot rubber coated bullets. And so you just, I mean, there's just no way to escape it. It's like you're living in like a cage where these people are treated like rats, and they're just, it's a very radicalizing experience for me, just seeing what this actually meant. And they've been living there for decades and decades and decades. So yeah, I mean, it's an acceptable place, but that's, that's what I needed.
So you chose this camp. Did you know anybody when you went?
I had met some sort of aspiring journalists, solidarity activists who ended up getting me a room. So I stayed with like the foreigners in a house in like sort of like an apartment that one of the families rented out.
When you were there as a Jewish American, how did the soldiers treat you? How did the Israeli soldiers? A lot of them are Americans. Did you run into American IDF soldiers? And what was their response to you?
There was one time. I mean, usually they don't know. Just some guy they can't tell. There was one time that I was in the village of Nabi Saleh, which is known for its resistance. It's where Ahed Tamimi, remember her? She went, she became very famous some years ago. Or she's like now she's a young woman. She was like maybe 16 or 17 at the time, maybe even younger, where she slapped a soldier who was in her village. I mean, her family has been completely terrorized, killed by the Israeli army. And Nabi Saleh was like a place of weekly demonstrations. Every Friday they would demonstrate, go confront the army, and this kind of thing. I went there, and one time the border police are basically they can stop you and arrest you. The army can't quite as much as a foreigner. The border police stopped me, or a bunch of border police and soldiers. They stopped me and a few other people, 2 Palestinians, myself, one other journalist, and an American journalist. And they take your ID and everything. And I had this hat, this protective hat. It was made of hard plastic. It just looked like a regular hat, but the cap was made of hard plastic because they shoot rubber-coated bullets, and that would protect me at least with that. So I wear that in the field. And they took my ID, and these soldiers, I'm 19 years old, I'm about 10 years older than them. They take my ID and they see, and they see it, and they're just like shocked, and they're you could just see they were like glaring at me like, you traitor. I mean, the only thing that Zionists hate more than Palestinians are anti-Zionist Jews, because they see them as like race traitors. Like, you're an enemy from within. How dare you? It's even more disgusting. So but overall, it didn't get a lot of that. I remember when I go into the Gaza Strip, you have to go. Of course, Israel controls the entrance and exit. So when I would go in, I remember people would the Israelis who control it who look at my passport, my visa, and my press card. They would look at me kind of like I'm crazy. I remember a young Ethiopian Israeli, looking at me just being like, "Are you scared?" And I was like, "No, are you scared?" She just was kind of blown out by the whole thing. But I mean, I never had any problems because I'm Jewish. I mean, not that I advertised it, and certainly like if I went around wearing a kippah, that could be a different thing. A yarmulke, that could be a different thing, because the thing is, for Palestinians, their occupier calls themselves the Jewish state. When those tanks roll in, there's a Star of David on it. When there's Israeli warplanes are dropping bombs on them and massacring them, they're saying, we're doing this in the name of Jews. So you have to expect that not everyone is going to be like, no, this is not Jews. Like there's gonna be a reactionary element of that. And that's not to say that's not anti-Semitism in the sense of like European old school anti-Semitism, where they really like have all these horrible beliefs about Jews. It's just a reaction to occupation. So it's not like I advertised it, but I mean, among people who knew, never had a problem. In Gaza, Hamas knew. You think Hamas didn't know I was Jewish? Of course they did. In fact, they gave me extra protection because I'm Jewish, because they knew, well, there's people who might not quite understand. One time in Gaza, I don't know if I've ever told this story publicly. One time in Gaza, I went with a friend to the rubble of this neighborhood east of Gaza called Shijaiya, which now is getting hit so hard in this current war on Gaza. And it did in 2014 too. And I'm just talking to these salt of the earth people, and it's just it's an amazing experience. They're just so real. And I asked my friend, like, I think we should tell them I'm Jewish. Like, I just want these people to know the truth about me. And he was like, okay. And so we told them, and they were like, oh, especially the father, he worked in Israel for years and years and years. He's like, oh, I have Jewish friends, blah, blah, blah. He's going off. And then a couple days later, I actually got called into Hamas's security office. And they were like, you cannot tell people that. Do not do that. You're gonna get yourself in a bad situation because you never know how people are gonna react. You know, they might not differentiate. So Hamas protected me as a Jew.
I do want to tell you about Field of Greens. You guys know that I love this stuff. It is a fine powder made from dehydrated whole fruits and vegetables, and you carefully select exactly which fruit and which vegetables to put in the mix so that you get the most nutrients.
Okay, so I gotta get going, but you can find this interview. It was 5 months ago, October 20th. So it was just a couple of weeks after, the Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. This was October 20th. An interview posted on Kim Iverson, probably why I couldn't find it. I didn't realize it was that old. And yeah, Dan, that's the reporter. I forgot his last name. Yeah, he lived in Gaza for a while doing reporting. This is long before that. Okay. So, yeah, there's lots of stuff people don't know of what's actually going on. So, you can say that he's a liar. You can say he was never in Gaza. He makes it all up. You can say that, but I've actually know this journalist, not personally, but I've heard him on many other topics, and he actually does go out to a lot of these places. So, all right, on this note, I will leave you guys, and I'll see you all on the next video, whenever that is. Bye, guys.